ABC Sports.
A promotional fee has been paid to ABC by American Airlines, a proud sponsor of the ABC telecast of the 1988 Winter Olympics.
You know, if you can imagine, my boss has been yelling at me all day. The baby's crying. She wants her diaper changed. My wife wants to go shopping. And I'm saying, Denise, where's the paper towels? I don't know. When I see 30-something, I see real life. I see things that make me happy. I see getting angry. I see Willie Gault. One of these days, I'll be 30-something.
Tuesdays at 10, 9 Central and Mountain.
Good evening, everyone, from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. The Winter Olympic Games are well underway. I'm Wendy Lubavitch.
And I'm Mark Curtis. We're going to have highlights of a tremendous debut by the American hockey team.
And I'm Mark Sapelsa. We'll take you to a place where some local residents say UFOs have visited. Now the locals are trying for an encore visit in an out-of-this-world way. That story and the story of some foreign athletes who didn't go to Calgary. Nope, they came to the Twin Cities for world peace. We'll tell you why.
A St. Paul man trains for the world's toughest bicycle race. I'm Jason Davis, and I'll have that story when we go on the road again to Chaska, Minnesota.
All the news, weather, sports, just ahead on Eyewitness News at 10.
We're gonna bring on the beef, spread on the cheddar. McDonald's cheddar melt. First we bring on the beef, spread on the cheddar. Bold and saucy, much better now. Grill up the onion, stack it on a rye bun. Cheddar melt. It's for a limited time, so come on, all together say, bring on the beef, spread on the cheddar. It's a good time for the great taste of McDonald's cheddar melt. For a limited time.
It's no picnic, getting out there before the sun, when it's too cold to touch your hand to metal. But there's always a chance you could be just a little better than you were the day before. So you keep at it.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield protects the U.S. Olympic team, as well as people right here in Minnesota, with quality service that never stops trying to be perfect. Do you have Blue Cross?
America, there's no doubt about it. You sure have a thing about keeping your cars clean on the outside. Well, now there's Pheno One detergent gasoline that'll help keep your car running clean where it really counts, on the inside. Pheno One keeps your fuel injectors and carburetors running clean. Come on, America, keep it running clean.
Pheno, you got a friend. You're watching KSTP TV, Minnesota's News Channel 5.
Live from Minnesota's News Channel, KSTP Channel 5, Mike Binkley, Karen Falloon, and Mark Stevens bring you the Eyewitness News Update.
Crowds bundled down for the icy cold were warmed by the Olympic spirit today as the 15th annual Winter Olympics open in Calgary. A torch carried the Olympic flame to its final destination, and the Games are officially underway. Tonight, Calgarians and thousands of their international guests fill the streets as the celebration goes well into the night. Good evening, I'm Mark Sapelsa. Mike Binkley is on assignment in Calgary, and tonight, the Canadian city of Calgary is already pulsing with excitement after a day filled with pageantry and the coming together of athletes from all over the world. Tonight, the city is alive with a celebration and one of the first events of the Games, and our coverage begins with Wendy Lubavitch and Mark Curtis live via News Star from Calgary. All right, guys, how's the party tonight?
How you doing?
Good.
Mark, I'll tell you, it's a great party. Welcome, everyone, to Calgary. We are coming to you live via News Star 5 all the way from the Canadian Rockies. We'll tell you all about the Rockies in later shows, but tonight we want to tell you about hockey, a great night for the USA.
You know, we were talking at 6 that tonight would be a very important point, not only for the victory itself, but a good kickoff point for Team USA, and when they did tonight. The final score, 10-6 over Austria. It was a big night for some Minnesotans, and specific center Corey Millen, who had a great night. 2 goals and 3 assists for Corey. Don't forget, he was the leading scorer during the pre-Olympic schedule. Also tonight, Jim Johansson of Rochester And Dave Snuggerud from Minnetonka also scored for the U.S. We'll have more on the game coming up for you later on in sports. But, you know, hockey isn't the only game going on. In fact, there's a huge party going on tonight.
It's happening right behind us, and everybody in town is invited. And it's happening in the Olympic Plaza. It's a special public opening ceremonies type of party. And I'll tell you, Kate Smith has the perfect view of this party. She is high atop of the Burns Building in downtown Calgary, and she's got a special eye on it. Kate, how does it look?
You guys, I promise we didn't plan it this way, but just as we started going on the air, the fireworks started, the laser light show started. As you say, it's a spectacular show. We're going to show you a little bit of it. Here at the Olympic Plaza, this is, as you said, the public opening ceremony. This is for all the folks who didn't get those 60,000 tickets to the official opening ceremonies. City officials were really concerned that every Calgarian feel a part of this festival, and they sure do tonight. What you're seeing are laser lights. They're being projected from various areas all over the city. There are some on some of the skyscrapers. There are several down here below where the people can see them well. People are standing here in the plaza. They've been here for about an hour. And I have to tell you, it's a little bit chilly, but it's a show well worth watching. People in the plaza all have their little Olympic torches. They're standing here watching. They've been singing songs, the national anthem. It's great. It's amazing. The fireworks go off and everyone cheers. One of the things that has made this amazing today is the torch. We told you about it earlier. And one of the torches that was lit tonight is atop the Calgary Tower. It's not only Calgarians who are getting into the Olympic spirit, it's all of Alberta and certainly all of Canada. And this torch on top of the Calgary Tower can be seen for hundreds of miles on a clear day. It's certainly the way the city of Calgary is welcoming the world and welcoming the rest of their country. We're going to sit down here and watch this show. We've got one of the best seats in town. And Wendy and Mark, we hope maybe you'll see a few of the fireworks. Maybe we'll take some tape for you to watch later on. Back to you.
We can hear them.
Yeah, we've got one of the worst seats in town. I can see the flame, but we can't really see all the fireworks going on.
We can hear them. They'll be showing up a little later on.
You know, what a great host city this has been. This ceremony going on downtown tonight, the opening ceremonies today. It doesn't take long, I think, to get caught up in the raw emotion and the pride involved. Those are probably the two overriding feelings that you get. The tremendous pride of the athletes as they walk into the stadium, the air of excitement of what lies ahead during the coming weeks. If you missed it today, hopefully this next piece of tape will help you feel and see what we felt here today. If only it could always be like this. People from all over the world, living flags, wearing their country's colors proudly, set for fierce competition, yet unified in a sense of brotherhood and peace. If only it could always be like this. But the opening ceremonies, like the Olympics, only happen every 4 years. And as the flame burned brightly on this blustery Canadian day, these Minnesotans who had come so far talked about what the games meant to them.
It's the whole world and the best athletes from all around the world, and to be a part of it is just a real thrill.
It's a really good feeling when you walk out and hear all the crowd cheering and screaming, and it's really a nice feeling.
You know, I've never imagined anything like this before, and I'm just happy to be here.
I think the best is when you walk into the stadium, you can hear the other Americans cheer for you. My family's going to be there, so it's going to be extra special this year.
It was a day of color, a day of nations large and small. This was the starting point. Let the games begin. And, well, they have begun with a tremendous victory by Team USA tonight. Some great people out there today, Wendy.
I think a moment we'll always remember.
Oh, yeah.
Another special moment happened tonight, as Kate Smith talked about a few minutes ago. Right behind me, we're going to show you a picture of a huge Olympic flame high atop the Calgary Tower. This flame has created a lot of excitement in Calgary. People have lined the streets today watching. For 3 months, the torch had been passing through Canada. This was the finale, and everyone in its path wanted to join in. Cauldrons were lit from the torch, and from that very flame, personal torches were ignited, spreading the pride and excitement of the largest torch relay in Olympic history. That was indeed a very special moment. Everybody, you could feel the excitement as everybody had their own personal torches. And over the 3-month period, 6,500 Canadians actually held that torch.
You know, people are going to remember this city for a long time.
I think so.
What a tremendous day.
Back to the studio, Mark.
Hey, Mark and Wendy, tell me this, from a guy who's never been to Calgary. You've been there for a couple of days now. Anything about the city, the people, that has surprised you that you can share with us?
Go ahead.
I think overall the most impressive thing is they are so friendly. You come here, you really don't know what to expect, and the people just embrace you. It's not only coming up to you and saying hello because they recognize your jacket, but they're genuinely very friendly people.
I feel very much at home, and I sort of feel like I'm in downtown Minneapolis when I'm in downtown Calgary. It has that same sort of warm feeling. It's very nice.
Well, we miss you, but we wish we were there. All right.
Thanks.
I'll tell you one thing, though. You guys aren't the only ones who have some international skiers. We have some right here in the Twin Cities today. The organizers for Ski for Peace described their international effort in Hennepin County as a real success. These Russian skiers were on hand for a series of events sponsored by the Ski to End Hunger organization. And this Soviet shipping agent turned coach likes the way things have turned out.
Our characters, the way we just see many things I think is similar.
That I've never seen.
On Monday, the Russians visit the University of Minnesota. Who really knows who's watching the goings-on on planet Earth tonight? When we come back, we'll talk to some people who think they know.
If you can see the clear difference between this lens and this lens, you should see the difference from in here.
The Pentax AR code, now at Benson Optical. This is a breakthrough.
I'm so happy today.
What you need from a radio station changes depending on when it is, where you're headed, or what you're doing. And through the different times of your day and the different places you have to stay, there's one radio station to turn to every step of the way. KS95 FM, the #1 music station under the sun, is 95 and sunny all day long.
The race to Best Buy's two-day sale has drawn a field of world-class shoppers.
And they're off. Billy Fenske's fast out of the gates carrying a big purse in Best Buy's newspaper ad. She wants to save on a new TV. Now, Granny Dilliard is headed for the outside shopping list in hand. She wants a camera to photograph the kiddies. And George Haverstraw, urged on by Best Buy's low appliance prices, moves into the stretch. Wait! Here's a late entry. Harold Johnson is coming on strong, trying to get to Best Buy before someone beats him to those stereos.
Best Buy's two-day sale this Sunday and Monday. Bargains galore for the fleet of foot.
We've already seen the movies take us out into space where no man has ever gone before. But now a group in Wisconsin is boldly trying to get UFOs to land where the people there think they've seen them before. Jackie Renner tells us about this latest effort to land an unidentified flying object.
They've made contact many times in the movies, but to some people, it's not just fiction. A newly formed Wisconsin group believes aliens have long monitored this planet, but are politely waiting for an invitation before they land. The group calls itself the UFO Site Center, and it announced today it hopes to build a UFO landing pad and to send a signal to aliens.
This will be a visual message. We believe that we can display, for instance, man in a friendly manner, in a welcoming manner. We do have the diagrams of their spaceships.
The group wants to put its landing pad near tiny Elmwood, Wisconsin. It picked Elmwood because so many people here have had eerie experiences. It happened to Chris Larson and Dawn Schroeder. As they drove home last winter, they insist something began to follow them.
It was just pretty much a bright light with, you could see flickers of green and red
on it. And it came closer to us. It was right on top of us for a while.
And then it kind of went behind us, and I mean, in just a matter of 15 seconds, it was just, you could just watch it go, just shot up and was gone.
To bring it back, the UFO Site Center wants a big landing pad.
It will be approximately 2 square miles. It will be lighted, border. Within this border of lights, we intend to transmit a visual message.
And what kind of aliens might stop by? We asked some youngsters in Elmwood.
Ugly, big, scary. They might have antennas, or they might be purple or any color.
Not the type of strangers these kids would take home to meet Mom, but if the invitation's going to be issued, all we can do is wait and watch.
They're here.
Jackie Renner, Channel 5, Eyewitness News.
And in the news back here on Earth, the debate over who's to blame for the collisions in the Black Sea between U.S. and Soviet warships. The Soviets point the finger at the U.S., saying the U.S. deliberately caused the incident. U.S. officials say U.S. warships were simply testing the right of innocent passage in international waters more than 3 miles off the Soviet coast. In Thailand, probably the biggest drug bust in the world, Thai officials confiscated nearly 1.5 tons of heroin. The increasing flow of drugs from Mexico into the U.S. was on the agenda as President Reagan held a brief meeting there with Mexican President de la Madrid. Reagan called for unity with Mexico on the topic of aid to the Nicaraguan rebels. A verbal firefight kicked up at a debate of the Democratic candidates running for president, this in New Hampshire. Iowa caucus winner Richard Gephardt was a frequent target, drawing criticism from his rivals for his voting record. The New Hampshire primary is Tuesday. A former Democratic presidential hopeful, Senator Joseph Biden, is in serious condition after surgery in Washington. Doctors repaired a burst artery in the base of his brain, but doctors say Biden is awake, alert, and doing well. Though they're too young to vote, some Minnesota school kids are brushing up on the presidential candidates. These students are folding flyers that'll be given door to door, encouraging adults to take part in the February 23rd Minnesota caucus.
They'd like to have a little more hope and control over their future. So the ones that are aware of what's going on in the world, they're a bit worried and they want to do something to make for a better future for everyone.
Ground Zero Minnesota is sponsoring this issue awareness project. It includes student political forums that Jesse Jackson and Michael Dukakis will attend next week. They are 2 Democratic presidential hopefuls as well. Well, we've seen a lot of people skating on the ice tonight, but later, Jason Davis shows us some other things people do on the ice when we go on the road again.
You know, stores have all kinds of gimmicks for President's Day, but at Sun Valley Waterbeds, we get right to the point. We're having a 4-day sale that'll flip your wig with honest store-wide savings. Complete waterbeds as low as $119. Handsome bookcase beds from $149. Gorgeous oak beds from $199. Mattress pads just $12.99. Buy now, pay nothing till May. But hurry, these President's Day savings end Monday at Sun Valley Waterbeds.
I'm Bob Bruce, and coming up this week on Twin Cities Live, on Monday, from black belt to the silver screen, we'll meet actor Chuck Norris. Tuesday, a panel of hunks led by actor Jack Scalia from Dallas. On Wednesday, we'll meet the experts to debate if alcoholism is a disease. Thursday, modern-day exorcisms. And on Friday, the top morning drive DJs, Nap and Donuts, Heinz and Berglund, and Tom and Dan. That's weekday mornings at 9 on Twin Cities Live, here on Channel 5.
Has your husband's best friend ever made a pass at you? Do you talk behind your mate's back or sometimes spy on him or her? On the next Oprah Winfrey Show, test the state of your union with the Oprah Winfrey Show USA Today poll on how you really feel about your mate. You'll find out the results of our nationwide survey of thousands of married couples to see how your marital scruples stack up on the next Oprah Winfrey Show.
Monday afternoon at 4 on Channel 5.
Well, we've kind of snapped a cold snap here. Hopefully we can stay up there a little bit, you think?
Briefly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the temperatures have been going on a roller coaster again, and we're continuing to rise temperature-wise tonight, but then it's going to fall off tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, really?
So, yes, we've got a cold front coming through. Now, as we take another look at the downtown skyline of Calgary, there you can take a look, too, at the temperatures for today. The low temperature to start out this morning was 0. It was a chilly start, but the high this afternoon reached 20 degrees with just a few spots of sunshine in the late afternoon hours. And on and off throughout the day, we've had flurries reported in parts of the metro area, and that amounted to nothing more than a trace out of the Twin Cities International Airport. Right now, we have flurries again, with a temperature of 19 degrees. The dew point is 15. The relative humidity is 84%, and the winds are out of the southeast at 16 miles an hour. That pressure is still falling. Well, for tonight, we are looking for flurries and sprinkles, at least in the first few hours, and then toward dawn, we should expect that light snow to develop. Nearly steady or slowly rising temperatures. In fact, by morning, it will most probably be in the mid to upper 20s, right around 28 degrees with that light snow. And then throughout the rest of the day, that cold front comes sweeping through here. 1 to 2 inches of snow possible. Most of the snow occurring on the backside of that front. Snow and blowing snow, as those temperatures will be out of the northwest at 20 to 30 miles an hour, and the temperatures will fall into the lower teens by late afternoon. For satellite picture right now, we have that low pressure centered up near Minot, North Dakota. It is sliding to the southeast and should come through central Minnesota. Out ahead of that system, we have southerly winds, and as this warm front comes through, that's the reason the temperatures will continue rising. However, that cold front coming out of Canada right now will sweep through the upper Midwest during the day tomorrow. In fact, by tomorrow, the center of the low pressure should be in northern Wisconsin. And on the backside, those windy conditions developing with that band of snow just behind the front. But high pressure building in so that by Monday we should be partly cloudy. But because of the rather windy conditions, advisories for blowing snow for southern Minnesota, the western portion of the state, across North Dakota. But near blizzard conditions may exist in eastern South Dakota, and that presents a problem as winds will be gusting up to 40, 45 miles an hour. For the rest of the week, apart from the snow on Sunday and partly cloudy skies on Monday, the next chance of snow is on Tuesday, and the temperatures to remain pretty close to normal for this time of year, as we'll be in single digits or at least in the teens at night, and a high temperature in the teens and lower 20s during the day.
But you're right, we're taking another nosedive.
Yeah.
Huh? All right. Hockey, hockey, hockey. Next up in sports, both the North Stars, the Gophers in action tonight, and in Calgary, the U.S. Olympic team gets off to a good start. We'll have a live report. Joe Schmidt has sports next.
When you're driving for the gold, you go all out. And right now, your Lincoln Mercury dealers celebrate that same spirit with their Drive for the Gold event. An all-out effort to win your business with up to $1,000 customer cash on select models. The aerodynamic Mercury Sable, the sleek Mercury Cougar, the sporty Mercury Topaz, and other great values. Drive for the gold. See your Lincoln Mercury dealer today.
This child doesn't have AIDS, and hopefully he never will. But he will be impacted by the disease for the rest of his life. Experts say that nearly all of us, no matter how innocent, will be touched by AIDS. And unfortunately, many Minnesotans are realizing the truth in that prediction. Dr. Michael Breen will take an in-depth look at those people and some problems that may surprise you. A special assignment report beginning Wednesday at 10.
I'm Steve Edelman.
I'm Sharon Anderson. Coming up on the next Good Company, Art Linkletter will be here in our studio with advice for seniors on how to make the most of life after age 65.
Also, meet the Minnesota man who won big on Wheel of Fortune as he shares his secrets of success.
And a doctor has a warning about cold and flu germs that are being recycled by humidifiers.
And Sharon will tell you about the unbelievable surprise that happened to her on Valentine's Day when she was least expecting.
Join us for that.
Gotta have a multiple handoff. We going back to Calgary now, or what are we doing?
I think we're going back to Calgary now. I mean, kind of like ABC couldn't make up its mind tonight. That was ABC calling those shots there, folks, in case you missed all the goals whenever they went to a commercial or to whoever was singing a song this time. So we didn't make that decision. We got a couple of calls on that one tonight. Not quite a miracle on ice, but you'd have to say it's a pretty good start for the old U.S. Olympic team as they beat Austria tonight. Kind of an easy opponent to start things off, Mark, but I think they did a pretty good job.
They really did, Joe. I was at the game tonight, and although we knew that the Austrians weren't a great team,
it was more of an impressive victory for the U.S. than I think any of us could have expected. They got off to a flying start tonight. They're opening their schedule with a 10-6 victory over Austria, and it was a great night for Cloquet's Corey Millen. 2 goals and 3 assists. A 5-point night for Corey. He's expected to be one of the leaders on this team throughout the next 2 weeks, and he really showed it tonight. A couple of other Minnesotans, Dave Snuggerud and Jimmy Johansson, also scored tonight as the U.S. got off to the kind of a start they needed. More than the victory itself, I think it gets them off on the right foot, and now they'll have a lot of confidence heading into their game against Czechoslovakia. That's coming up Monday night. There was one hockey upset today at the Olympics. West Germany beat Czechoslovakia 2-1, so they're going to be ready to go Monday night. You can bet on that. U.S. will face the Czechs again at the Saddle Dome Monday night. That'll be a big test for Team USA, probably their first real test of the Olympics. As far as tomorrow goes, really the first day of heavy competition, all of us here at Channel 5 hope that you'll be tuning in for what turns out to be an exciting day. As ABC continues its coverage of the games, here's what we have planned for our coverage of all the Minnesotans. Minnetonka's Nick Thomas will be one of the guys we'll be keeping our eyes on. The story is he strong enough? Has he regained enough strength to win a medal? Thomas says it'll feel good just getting on the ice.
Yeah, as far as the ice is going, I'm skating real well. There isn't any flaws in that. It's just a matter of getting out there and doing it and not worrying about the power and the strength. It's just got to be there, and if I don't worry about it, I think it won't be a problem. So I'm just going to go out there and skate my hardest.
Also on tap, the men's downhill. We'll take you to Nikiska and Mount Allen, which can be treacherous with the high winds. Also the luge. If you've never seen it, this is one of the most exciting events to watch. Talk about exciting. The men's 70-meter ski jump is also on the schedule with a great Minnesota connection. U.S. ski jump coach Greg Winsberger hails from Shoreview. All of that and more coming up tomorrow. All right, so that's the way it looks for tomorrow, and there was lots more going on today, so we'll send it right back to Joe Schmidt, who can tell us about the North Stars, Gopher hockey, and lots more. Joe?
All right, we'll do that, Mark. Between Calgary and the Twin Cities, I think every hockey player in Minnesota was playing somewhere tonight. The ones who play out at the Met Center, well, they have a lot in common with the team from Austria. In other words, the North Stars got beat up tonight. Quebec jumped out to a 2-0 lead, and they never looked back in this game. Norman Rochefort with the goal right here for the Nordiques, and that put them in the lead 1-0. The Stars battled back to within a goal at 3-2. Brian Bellows got the deflection here off a defenseman, but the Stars come up way short tonight, 7-3. This one really hurts because Minnesota is now back in last place in the Norris Division because Toronto wins as they beat Philadelphia 7-4, St. Louis over Detroit, Vancouver by 1 over Boston, and Hartford a 4-1 winner over Montreal. Somebody must have forgotten to tell the Gopher hockey team that they won the WCHA title last night, because tonight they came out against Denver and just crushed them. They went out there like they had to win the game. 2.5 minutes into the game, the Gophers took the lead. Ken Jernander winds up and cranks a slap shot past the Denver goalie, and the Gophers were on their way. I'll tell you what, Minnesota was hustling like champions all night tonight. Watch Grant Bishop here set up a great goal with this effort. Randy Scarda's there to put it in. The Gophers playing like champions tonight. Very late in the game, they are leading Denver 8-2. A great series for Minnesota. The Gopher basketball team may not be at the top of the Big Ten standings, but at least now they can boast that they are no longer on the bottom. The Gophers breezed past Northwestern this afternoon, the final 82-67. The Wildcats kept this game close in the first half, but the Gophers came alive in the second. Kevin Lynch hits the three-pointer, and Minnesota led by 12. Lynch had 14 tonight. The Gophers did a pretty good job on the boards. Ray Gaffney misses the shot, but Richard Coffey gets the rebound and the bucket. He had 15. Talk about a Jekyll and Hyde performance. Willie Burton didn't have a point in the first half. He had 13 in the second. The Gophers win their third Big Ten game of the year, one more than all of last season. They have a few days off until Wednesday when they host Michigan. Now, the Wolverines won their 20th game of the season today by beating Indiana. Gary Grant led the way with Michigan with 24 points. Bobby Knight's boys never had a chance in this game. Glenn Rice poured in 23 as the Wolverines beat the Hoosiers 92-72. Elsewhere in the Big Ten, it was Illinois over Michigan State. Ohio State beat Wisconsin. Top-ranked teams, Oklahoma over K-State. Missouri upset UNLV. And Georgetown by a pair over Syracuse. In other sports, Edina's Jody Rosenthal is tied for second, 2 shots off the pace with 1 round left in the Sarasota Open. Let's head back up north to Wendy Lubavitch.
Hi, Joe Schmidt. How you doing?
Hello, Wendy. Take it away.
Hi, thanks, Joe. I'll tell you, Minnesotans here in Calgary aren't just athletes and media folks. There's a special delegation here, and their mission is to try to get Minnesota chosen as the site of the U.S. Summer Olympic Games in 1996. The mayors of St. Paul and Minneapolis are here along with other Minnesota officials to meet with members of the U.S. Olympic Committee. They'll be going to receptions, shaking hands, just letting them know the Twin Cities is interested in becoming an Olympic city as well. Mayor George Latimer of St. Paul says while the delegation is here, they'll pick up some pointers for holding the Summer Olympic Festival 2 years from now.
We already have the Olympic Festival in 1990. We're going to learn a lot about what it takes and what you gain from trying to do something like that. Secondly, making the pitch for the 96 Olympics in a quiet, covert kind of way is going to be very important.
Now, the delegation will be hosting receptions and various events throughout their stay here, and they're going to be holding what's called a hospitality party, and it's a way that we Minnesotans can show Calgarians and the rest of the world that we know how to throw a party.
Just a quick reminder, and I think it bears repeating, tomorrow Nick Thomas from Minnetonka will skate for the first time in the 500 meters, and then he will join us tomorrow night live at 10 o'clock.
That'll be exciting. And also tomorrow we're going to tell you about Minnesotans entertaining the world, and believe it or not, they are using lefse to do this. That's all coming up tomorrow. Back to the studio.
Party animals, pack it up so you can hit that party in the streets down there, huh? Okay, Jason Davis is standing by to take us on the road again. He'll show us some other things that athletes are doing besides competing in the Olympics.
Burgers to my right. Whoa! Burgers to my left. Whoa! Whoa! There's another one. I've had it with burgers. Enough. I'm burned out on burgers. And I know just who to tell. Because right now, when you buy any Arby's roast beef sandwich and say, I'm burned out on burgers, you get a regular roast beef sandwich free. There's another one. Hey, burned out on burgers? Don't tell me. Tell Arby's. Buy any roast beef sandwich and get a regular roast beef free. Nah.
The candidates.
Getting back in this race is about the toughest thing that I have ever done.
The issues.
We've got to have a Democratic nominee with strong economic leadership.
If elected, I will go to Central America and end that war.
Now, Eyewitness News has teamed up with the nation's foremost political pollster, the Gallup Poll, to bring you political perspective on the 1988 presidential election. Let Minnesota's News Channel help you decide.
Channel 5 is sending more people to the Olympic Games in Calgary than any other local television station in the country. I think that shows our commitment to the Games is very strong. The important thing is that we have undertaken this Olympic assignment with the hopes of bringing the Minnesota angle and the Minnesota stories back here to Minnesota. And we hope to do that every day because the Olympics are something that everyone will remember for a long time, and we don't want you to miss a thing.
Suppose you're doing something tomorrow. Let's find out what might be happening up above here, huh?
Well, as a matter of fact, rather mild overnight. The temperatures will be rising into the 20s. Some light snow developing toward dawn. And then tomorrow, a cold front comes through. Snow, blowing snow, about 1 to 2 inches possible. And those afternoon temperatures will continue falling to the lower teens by late afternoon.
Because of that snow, it's been a great winter for skiing, skating, ice fishing. But it's been a little too snowy and icy for most of us to ride our bicycles, of course. But when Jason Davis went on the road again to Chaska, Minnesota, he found a man who two-wheels through the tundra in the worst conditions he can find.
The solitary car in this parking lot at the head of a snowmobile trail along the Mississippi River means Dave Zink is in training. 28-year-old Zink is an engineer for control data. He's on a year's leave of absence to ride and train for bicycle races. Through the winter, he's out every day for several hours. He has to be. He's training for the toughest and the longest bicycle race in the world.
This race, though, is so long and so many things can happen, and you invest so much time into training for it that it's hard, at least for me, to say, well, I'm going out to win this race. I've got to say I'm training because I want to go do it. I want to build up this training base for next summer. And if I break down or have a problem, well, that's okay. You know, it was worth doing it. And winning isn't everything, because you can't. This race is just too long and hard to say you're going to win it.
In a few weeks, Dave Zink will leave for Anchorage, Alaska to begin a 210-mile race along a dog sled trail. They will ride almost non-stop for a day and a half in temperatures almost certain to be way below zero.
One of the biggest problems is that you can keep most of your body warm on the bike, just like cross-country skiing with very little clothing, down to about 20 below, but the hands and feet on the bike are just stationary. They really don't move that much, so they get quite cold. So I find that once it drops below about zero, I've got to get off and run for a couple minutes every hour.
The cold will be to Dave Zink's advantage. After all, he lives and trains in Minnesota.
And there was a guy up there last year that was a good bike rider, good off-road rider in the summer, but as he said, he hadn't seen snow since he was a Cub Scout.
There were 30 starters in this tough race last year, only 15 finished. Dave Zink was first, but he faces stiffer competition this year. There'll be 100 at the start line in Alaska on March the 6th. Jason Davis with photographer Phil Teesey on the road again near Chaska, Minnesota.
Guy's nuts. I'll stick to biking in June. That's it. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you. Have a good weekend.
Tonight, the personal life of Jean Donovan, a young missionary in El Salvador, in Choices of the Heart.
All my life, I've been looking for something. Whatever it is, I know it's out there waiting for me. I want so much to find it. Sometimes I can get a little pushy about it. People say to me, how can you stand it in Salvador? There's so much dying. But there's so much life, too. Maybe that's what I've been looking for all along.
That's enough, Ted.
Wait a minute. I'm waiting for something clever here to throw into Dave.
Throw to Dave.
Dave, throw Dave.
That's funny. Well, we have cloudy skies, increase in the cloud cover overnight tonight. We are expecting to see the temperature rebound to about zero by morning, and maybe a light dusting of snow. It doesn't look like it'll even amount to an inch.
Nobody talks to us, Mayor. Yeah, I'll hurry. Okay, now a look at Minnesota tomorrow from Channel 5, Minnesota's news channel. Tomorrow, hog slaughtering operations are scheduled to end at the Hormel plant in Austin. Former Viking coach Bud Grant will be part of a news conference on the proposed cigarette advertising at the Dome. And tomorrow night, the DOT will hold the first of 5 hearings on the proposed reconstruction of I-35W. And remember, please, to call our tip line at 5 TV News if you know of a news story. And tomorrow at 6 a.m., please join Wendy Lubavitch and Bob Bruce. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you then.
They are men, they are women, they are black and white, gay and straight. And now even babies are falling victim to the AIDS virus.
1, 2, 3.
Good evening, I'm Ted Koppel, and this is Nightline. A new study made public today contains the most chilling AIDS statistic yet. 1 in 61 babies born in New York City carries antibodies to the AIDS virus. But is that number as alarming as it sounds? And should the rest of the country be even more concerned than it already is? That's our focus tonight.
This is ABC News Nightline, reporting from Washington.